What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Facts Show. I am Mr. Straight Facts. Let's get to it. Donald Trump had an interview on ABC. And I know you guys have probably seen this, but on ABC, we're about to watch here in a second. Give a little backstory of what ABC is about with Donald Trump. Donald Trump believes he owns ABC now, right? Because he got that $15 million. They were the first ones to capitulate to Donald Trump's lawsuits against the media. You know, with George Stephanopoulos, he got something wrong and he recanted, but I guess ABC decided to capitulate and say, okay, we'll give him $15 million. And if you give a bully an inch, he'll take 5 yards, right? And that's exactly what happened. So he goes to the station and he's interviewed. He thinks it's going to be a softball interview because he owns them. You know, I got them to capitulate. They ain't going to mess with me anymore. So he figured he'd grab somebody that, you know, he thought that it was going to, you know, feel happy that they got an interview with Donald J. Trump, the president. And little did he know this guy was going to actually ask him some harder questions and that they were going to end up running for weeks on end, or weeks on end, for days on end, his interviews with this guy because he says some things that, you know, put him in a bad light with the judge, with judges, because of, he said that he can bring back Abrego Garcia, but he chose not to. And when he told the courts, he told them that he couldn't bring him back. He's in the other country. The other country has to send him back, and that's up to him. He even did it in a presser inside the White House. So he really kind of contradicts himself. And if you're a lawyer, you have some more ammo to take yourself to court. Not that it's going to happen or not. I don't know what the judge is going to decide, but that puts him in a bad light. But what we're about to watch next is Donald Trump in this interview and the things that he says. Now, in this interview, he's talking about Kilmar Abrego Garcia, about the tattoos on his hand and how it was MS-13, and that proved that he was in a gang to some degree, and that's all he needed. Let's go.
Have a trial, a major trial for every person that came in illegally. We have thousands of murderers that came in. They're going to murder people. They already have murdered people in our country.
Right, so
we have to get them out, and we have to get them out fast.
Really bad guys, but in our country, even bad guys get due process, right?
If people come into our country illegally, there's a different standard. These are illegal.
He doesn't even know the laws of America. He's sitting here literally saying, well, people come into our countries, they you know, they don't necessarily get the laws that the Constitution gives them. It's basically, I can give them whatever I want. No, not in America, but this country, this dude thinks he owns the United States. It's his rules. You're not a king. You're a president. You're elected. You're a servant, not the master. You're a servant of the people. You're not the master of the people. I'm telling you, when you give weak ass people opportunities to be leaders, they puff their chest and act like they're a king or a god. No, sir, you are a servant. It's insane. But anyway,
They came in illegally.
But they get due process.
Well, they get a process where we have to get them out. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the Venezuelans.
They get whatever my lawyers say. Those tattoos.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the
do that.
letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
That was Photoshopped. So let me
That was Photoshop. Terry, you can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. But I picked you, Terry, but you're not being very nice. I can't.
he said you're not being very nice. Now, he said, I picked you because I never heard of you. It makes no sense. Again, if Biden had spoke like this man, even Democrats, when they realized that Biden was kind of frail a little bit, not all of them, I'm talking about the leadership, they started falling away. Oh, we got to find somebody else. We got to find somebody else because he froze. At one event, he froze and they said, They wanted to let him go. Donald Trump is speaking absolute nonsense right here. Yet Republicans ain't, none of them are like, let's let him go. Because they know in their party, they are a bunch of losers. All of them. And this is the only dude that wins, even though he's a loser. They look up to him. I mean, if you were born somebody who was given not only a gold spoon in your mouth, this man had a gold toilet under his butt. He had gold socks. He had gold limos. He had gold chandeliers, gold doors, all that shit. And still fucked it up. Still fucked it up. You had a head start on everybody in your community just about. And you still messed it up when Daddy Warbucks died. Casinos, businesses, everything. This man had all this money, yet though his apartment was funky. His office was nasty. All this money and everything he had inside of it was just dirty and nasty. And these are the people that, oh, I look up to that. How do you look up to a loser that keeps robbing people? Do you look up to Bernie Madoff? I mean, come on. It's some of the most idiotic stuff. This man is saying that the Abrego Garcia had MS-13 on his knuckles, tattooed on his knuckles. I'm about to show y'all what he actually showed. Donald Trump posted it on his, I think on Twitter and on his Truth. But let's see what he's talking about. You know, he was adamant about it. Adamant that he had this MS-13 on his knuckles. And he had a picture and he posted it. He said, dude, that's MS-13 on his knuckles. And this reporter was saying, no, that was photoshopped. More than likely photoshopped by his people. You'll see what I mean. Let's get it. You see that? You see that? This man is slow. They tried to translate what those tattoos mean. The M, like that little, Mary Jane, that's an M. And then the smiley face is supposed to be an S. The cross is supposed to be a 1. And a skull is supposed to be a 3. They tried to translate it to Sir Idiot here, whomever put this on here and documented it, to try and translate what these tattoos mean. But we don't know what those tattoos mean. None whatsoever. And that's called due process. Go to court, ask him. Go to another gang and see if these things are still there. See if he's in a gang at all. I mean, there are many people who are admirers of tattoos and don't know what the hell they get them for. You know, like the ones who put Japanese letters on the back of their necks and all shit like that. They don't know that in Japan that might be a gang. They don't know that. They just like the tattoo. Give me that. So you don't know if that's him or if he's really a part of a gang or if that doesn't even mean what you think it means. But Donald Trump thinks those letters, MS-13, all like in an angle like this and shit, is really on his knuckles. Slow. I mean, seriously, this dude is remedial. Just like his professor said when he was at Wharton Business College. This is the dumbest, he said, what did he say? Dumbest goddamn student I ever had. He had to put the goddamn on it. Dumbest goddamn student I ever had. This right here is the dumbest president America has ever had. He literally thinks that. Why on earth would you want this man as a leader of anything when he can't tell that the MS-13 is typed and all the other shit's drawn? Typed, y'all. You can see that's a typewriter, something, a actual like typed into a word processor and he just put it on top of it just to kind of translate it. He thought it was the actual tattoo. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Why is this man leading anything? I wouldn't let this man lead a church's chicken. It's just insane. It's insane. I don't know where people get the idea that this dude was smart. You know what he's smart at? Robbing people. That don't take a degree. That just takes doing it a lot to get good at it. I mean, he could teach, probably, I'm sure. He can teach something about how to rob people. I guarantee you he can teach that. He can teach you how to rob people. That's something he can do, because everything he does is robbing people of things in life. This man, in that interview, gets upset because this reporter would not acquiesce to his insanity. Just like other sycophants like Marco Rubio. He was asked some question about, you know, the things that he's doing. He's like, I would never tell you, to a reporter. And it's like, well, who else would you tell? I would never tell you, because he had to try to act all bad in front of Donald Trump. I have never seen in my life. You know, when you was a kid, you know, you knew that one kid that always wanted to fit in. So he or she would say whatever they want to say around the cool people, you know, the jocks and shit. They say whatever they think the jocks want to hear just so that they can feel like they're that is all of Donald Trump's sycophants. I promise you, each one of them in school was harassed and bullied. And as grown-ass men and women, they have not learned how to get out from under a bully. They succumb to it. Weak people leading our country. If Donald Trump can bully these people, what in the fuck do you think is going to happen to them when they're over there speaking to Putin? When they're over there Donald Trump, a 5-year-old can outmaneuver him mentally. And you're telling me you're going to go over to Putin, to China, to other countries and try and get deals, and you can't even stand up to Trump. Sir idiot. And these people over here all learned. Almost every leader is learned as fuck. Smarter than, you know, been spies before. Donald Trump hasn't been a spy. He had fries, but he ain't never been a spy. He don't know shit about anything governmental, as you can tell. This is one of those learn on the job processes. You're going to learn how to be a leader. And we're sitting here like, oh, we want, not us, the MAGA people and the people who didn't vote. Oh, how bad could it be? Look, I want y'all to know something. You may not like everything that Biden did, because I don't think anybody likes everything about anybody. So I give you that. But what President Biden did is that by the end of his presidency, he handed over a stellar economy. Stellar. Don't believe me. See, this is where, you know, these people, I gotta show them a little bit about, you know, reality, as opposed to the crap that they continue to like mold into their brains. They think that something's like, oh, Donald Trump says it, so therefore it must be. It's insane how these people listen to a man. I didn't even listen to Biden. He would say it. I'd go look it up. Then I'd be like, oh, told the truth. And I keep it moving. I didn't blindly listen to that man for shit. I didn't blindly listen to Obama. When he said stuff, I checked it. Factual, loved it. Things I didn't like, I'm like, we can come up off of that. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel he's supposed to do this shit. But no, people get it. First of all, let's just keep it 100, keep it a buck real quick. The type of person I am. I was the type of person when my teacher told me something, I just didn't go, yes, ma'am. Could you tell me more, please? No, I did my homework after they said it. I was the one that told the teacher she was wrong. That's the type of person I was as a kid. I don't care what grade I was in. If the teacher got something wrong, be like, hey, didn't that happen at this time or whatever? Yeah, you're right. They'd be pissed at me, but hey, I wasn't about to be lied to. This was at a young age. I'm the same type of dude that'll tell you the absolute truth about something, even if it hurts me. I'm like, yeah, that's true. I did that. So when we talk about, if you're going to look for a president or a leader or somebody to follow, if you're going to choose to do that, or someone to vote for, please do your homework on them. Don't let them lead you into the valley of death just because you believe they're telling you the truth every time. Everybody can fuck up. Everybody can. And as long as you're in a group, this is why I like what I do. I'm in a group of people that can tell me, hey, this might be wrong, that might be wrong. I do my research. I'm like, thank you. Because we're supposed to be all on the same damn plane, okay? You can have your feelings about different things, but what we got to do is work on the same foundation. And that foundation, what I call is factual. Real facts. Then we can work on that foundation about what we feel about that fact. I don't like it, but it is what it is. Or I love it, it is what it is. But that's the whole idea. You want to deal with facts. And so the reality is when Joe Biden was president, even at the end of his presidency, what he handed Donald Trump, you just don't have to take it from me. See, what you could take it from The Economist, a magazine that is well trusted, focused from economists, very well respected in the industry of knowing about how the country runs, right? All their articles or posts are factual, right? So Donald Trump was out there throughout the campaign earlier on before Kamala Harris was actually replacing him, Biden that is, saying that one moment he's saying, oh, the economy's doing well. That's because everybody thinks that I'm going to be president. That's why it's been better. He took credit for some shit that he wasn't even in the office for. And his menu was like, I mean, just incredibly stupid, right? And so when I saw that, I was like, oh, these people are remedial. I mean, they all went on the short bus. There's no way in hell that you have any kind of intelligence that you think that a man that's talking about coming into office hasn't won yet is the economy is going to do great just because they think he might win. Okay. He said it was him coming in office why his economy was doing so well. Donald Trump handed Biden a horrible economy because he paid no attention to the pandemic. He knew that the pandemic was going to kill people. It was going to be worse than the flu. And he lied about it. Many of people had died before an interview came out when he was talking to this famous reporter. And he said, oh, yeah, I knew. I remember it so well. I remember what he did when he said it, how he said it. Donald Trump in this interview, he said, yeah, it was 5% worse than 5 times as worse, 500 to be honest, is worse as the flu. But he was out there telling people, oh, come on to my rallies. Oh, this like that. No big deal. He knew they had a possibility of dying. That's why he stayed more than 6 feet away from them. But he had them sitting right next to each other. This man cared more about them giving accolades to him and coming and giving him money than keeping the people in front of him alive. And they still haven't figured it the fuck out. Slow is not a term for them. Not even beyond slow. It's scary how remedial they are. They risked their lives. Many of them died. One of the dudes, the black guy, forgot his name, who was like the head of some kind of pizza place, whatever, forgot his name at the top of my head, died. Caught COVID, died. Donald Trump almost died. And then he went and got the miracle treatment before even the vaccine came out. He went and got some miracle crap and took the stuff that he took more than one thing. And he got better. So at that point, he knew that these things they've been working on was working because it saved his life. And instead of being appreciative of the people who made this RNA stuff and all the different vaccines that were super powerful, but not necessarily 100% yet, he received that and it saved his life. And this man still came out and took his mask off and walked amongst people like it was no big deal. You talk about somebody who don't give a fuck about nobody. He could have killed his son. He could have killed his wife. He could have killed his co-workers. He didn't give a flying fuck. Yet they think this man cares. About who? But this man said that his economy, it was his economy when Biden was doing well, when he was running for president. And Biden wasn't even out on the stump trying to be president. He was already president. He was even on his running phase. Donald Trump, y'all remember, started running a hell of a lot earlier than any candidate would because he thought he was going to go to jail and he thought, okay, I got to sign in so they won't charge me. But then they still charged him. He thought running for president was going to protect him. So they couldn't charge him. They still charged him. That pissed him off. So that's why he's on this tour trying to get everybody back. Because this country decided to put a criminal, a rapist, a degenerate in the highest power in the land. It's hard to want to live around those people, to be honest. To be straight honest with you, it's hard to want to live around those people. To me, I think they're traitors of this country because they knew how bad this man was and chose him anyway. There's no comparison to him and Kamala Harris. None. Nowhere near. One was having actual plans. This dude had a vendetta. He had no plans. He had concepts of plans. He would say shit on stage like that. And you're like, ooh, something's wrong with him. He keeps glitching on TV. The hell is that? Live, he would do that shit. And I'm like, there's no way you want the dude that glitches, that's a criminal and a rapist and can't remember shit. And they still want him. Okay. Those types of people you just don't want to deal with. People are like, oh, well, we got to get them back. No, we don't. I am a firm believer that the people we need are the people who didn't vote. There was only like 160 million people. We have 300 million people. I don't know how many people can vote. But it's not all of the people who could vote that voted. We need to get the ones who see their lives fucking up that decide, oh, I'm against the system. I'm like, you better get your ass in the system now. Because look what he's going to do to you. You think it was bad. I did that video about $66,000 a year and how you're going to be in a deficit. There are many people that don't make $66,000 a year. You're going to be in the hole big time. And a lot of you are the ones who fucking didn't vote. Felt disenfranchised. And if you don't get your head in the game, you're going to be fucked. You're going to be the ones that are going to be working these damn farms and shit when they get rid of all the Latin people they're trying to get rid of. Your ass is a poor. Y'all going to be working at these damn fucking places picking cotton and all this other shit because you ain't going to have no other position to be had. You got to look how this country is moving. If you listen to Howard Lutnick, he had an interview. You can go look it up. This man said, get prepared for a new world. A new way of working. You're like, what the hell does he mean, a new way of working? New way of working is these jobs that they're talking about bringing back in these factories, they're high-skilled jobs. High-skilled, not unskilled labor work, meaning like most unions are unskilled. Like you didn't have to have any skill really. You just got in and learned how to do it, except for like engineering and stuff like that. But when you got into certain things you didn't have to have, you can come in and work it a little bit, then learn how to do it. You know, have that honeymoon period where they bring you on for like 6 months. And if you can't catch on, then you're out. But if you can catch on, then you're in. Yeah, none of that. That ain't what they doing. What they're talking about doing, And listen to Howard Lutnick. Don't just listen to me. Go look him up. He's saying we need new types of gifts. We need to train you guys to do new shit. You know what that new shit's going to be? First of all, it's a lie. You ain't going to be able to do it. No disrespect to you. No disrespect to you. But the majority of the people who are going to be doing these jobs are high skilled. Engineers, people who write programs, people who know how to work with motherboard, daughter boards, all that type of shit. Those high skilled engineers are going to be coming from India, coming from China, coming from other countries. Listen to Donald Trump and Elon Musk when they said Americans aren't smart enough for these jobs. Yet at the same time, have you heard Donald Trump say anything about creating new schools for trades or no, they're getting rid of, at least they want to, of the educational process that we have here, Department of Education. Trying to get rid of it. So if they don't want you to learn nothing, how the hell are you going to take jobs that are highly skilled? You won't. They're going to be bringing in all these people. They're talking about bringing in, you could $5 million, you can come to the country and be an immigrant. That's rich white people they're trying to get from South Africa and other countries. And with them is going to come other white people who know how to do shit. You know what I'm saying? They're going to get all these different work visas so they can come over. You already heard Elon Musk saying that's what he wants to do. That's what all these millionaires and billionaires want to do. Get all the labor of really good people and take America to a sky high. And it sounds noble, but what happens to the rest of us that don't do that? Donald Trump was talking about, I think it's TSMC. I might have the acronym wrong, but it's Taiwan. Let's see if I can get it right. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. They're making a factory in Arizona. We're going to talk about it just a second, but I want you guys to see. We're going to cover the last thing of the economy. Is this post right here? And which it shows up. There we go. Why is it not showing up? It should, but it's not. You don't see it, do you? No. For some reason, it's not showing up. That's really weird. I don't understand why that wouldn't happen. Let me go back and see if it bring it back the second time I do it. And it will not. Automatic. For some reason it won't show it. It should, but it's not. All right, but anyway, I'm gonna move on. But it's The Economist. I'll read it to you. The Economist says, and this is just the cover of it, which I don't understand why I wouldn't actually take it. But maybe it's, let me do one more thing. I want to show this bad. Chrome just kind of like fell apart. Let's see. There we go. There we go. For some reason it wouldn't show. Anyway, so this is The Economist, right? And this is a post that came out October 19, 2024. It was about our economy at that time. This is Joe Biden's, at the end of Joe Biden's actual, his reign as president, right? So we were called the envy of the world. Our economy left other rich countries in the dust. The Economist. Our country left everybody else in the dust. We were the best running economy in the world. After the pandemic, nobody grew as fast as we did. Not one other country. Listen to Donald Trump and our country was falling the fuck apart. But you know what happened? You know what happened? People kept saying, and I do this to the media as well. Mainstream media was a big problem, not just Fox and OAN and all them, News Nation. It was also MSNBC. It was also CNN. They allowed Donald Trump, and they still do it, to run them ragged on shit. Donald Trump will say one thing, and just the news saying that it's not true a billion times, people think they're lying, and they make it true. So the Fox would go around and say what they believe to be true, which is a complete outright lie. And they were saying, oh, you know, the economy's like doing better, even though the economy was the financial people on Fox were saying, yeah, the economy's doing good, but they always try to find another thing to say. They're like, but we never know what's going to be around the corner. And then the next day it'd be better. It'd be like, well, it is good. It's like the best economy we've had, but you never know what's going to come out. And I'm like, dude, just accept that it's good. But see, here's the thing. What they sold to Americans is that I don't feel like it's good. Fuck your feelings. Go look at the numbers. It looked great, right? So your feelings, it won't trickle down to you per se the way you think it's going to trickle down to you until it starts to bring inflation down. Now, inflation is just, you know, again, we had a lot of that, and this is what Kamala Harris was talking about of price gouging. Prices of things were down to the manufacturers, to the people here, rather, as far as like the distributors, to the stores. Prices were down when they was buying from the manufacturing companies overseas and everything. Prices were down. Oil prices down. The problem was getting businesses to show that loss. I mean, that actual like that decline in price. So let's just give an example. Let's say if you were, buying, let's say, we're gonna say electronics. Okay, you're buying an electronics product from China. Now the prices, and in this country, the prices of things, let's say if it's that electronic thing was $100. If it was $100 in this country, because of inflation, companies were literally charging, let's say like it cost them $100, it was charging us $250. Well, because everything, the inflation was so bad, they would charge you $280, $300, because they were blaming inflation. Like everything had to rise up because of the way the world was going. It's like, nah, you didn't have to price gouge people. You could have easily, if it would cost them $100, you could easily charge people $250, $200. And it wasn't about the fact that somehow you had this major like overhead no, it was all about greed. And how you kind of understand this is like, even when Donald Trump was saying drill baby drill with oil and stuff like that at his rallies, and these people were like, out there, I don't feel it. That's because you don't want to feel it. You knew gas was going down, and it would go up and down, up and down, up and down. But it wasn't going up like it was at a certain point right after, the pandemic was over. Because you got to understand something. Donald Trump ruined this country with his economic policies around handling the pandemic, mishandling it. Then he handed a crappy ass economy to Biden. His people got to work, professionals got to work. And within 4 years, he turned something around that this man, for almost 3 years, fucked up. 100% his fault. He tried to disperse the everybody else is doing it, everybody else is doing it, everybody else is doing it. Obama. I'm like, Obama's been out of office, fool. This is all you. And then now, our economy is down 0.3%, the GDP. And he's blaming Biden. Since January, until now, in the first quarter, it's down 0.3. A lot of people don't know what 0.3 would be, but let's just look at the numbers. 0.3 is approximately like $86 billion based on an estimated annual GDP of 28.8 trillion. It's down 86 billion. And Donald Trump's trying to blame Biden for that. And then he said the next quarter might be Biden too. I'm like, bro, Biden didn't throw. Here's the thing. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. The honest truth of these things. If Donald Trump didn't do anything and just let the Biden shit ride out, we'd have a booming economy and he could take credit for it. But no, he decided to fuck with everything. All these damn 100 and almost 50 or 100, whatever it's been, well over 100 something. 150, I believe, 183, the last I checked, of these executive orders, fucking with the country big time. Do you really think if you have a country and it's running, like this says, the envy of the world, because our economy grew faster than any other country, we're number one, y'all. This man comes in and we're number one. And he's like, let's fuck it all up. Let's fuck it all up. I bet you it'd be better. I bet you it'd be better. Take this over here, put this over here, carry the 3, all the shit on that. Next thing you know, we are fucked. And this man is talking about, oh, it's his fault. Really? You could blame it on him if your ass didn't do nothing and just let it ride. No, you've done a lot. It wasn't his fault that he decided to throw tariffs on the whole entire fucking world and our stocks dropped like a rock. Part of the reason why this thing is the way it is because people are scared about what's going on. So you got people who have the money, who have the wherewithal, buying a lot of product and storing it somewhere. Well, the rest of us who sell things can't do that. So most of the small, the mid-sized businesses are riding it out and hoping this shit don't take part, but they're afraid of it. Investors are tripping, like, this country's kind of tripped out. We ain't gonna be investing. We gonna take our money out. And then you got other people who have bonds who are selling them. It's like, yo, this country's going down the crapper. We can't trust them. Not with that dude leading it, because it's flip-flopped everywhere. With all this uncertainty, that's why an economy starts to take a hit. And this man's want to say Biden's certainty. Biden was a rock. You can count on a rock being a rock. Donald Trump is, he's like a load of crap. You don't know if it's diarrhea, if it's solid, if it's crusty, old. You have no idea. This man is all over the fucking place and nobody can take a grasp of what's going on. That's not good for an economy, because economies run on things being consistent. Inconsistent people pull their shit out, and normally they buy bonds. But they're not buying bonds, they're selling them. So what are they doing with it? Storing it. Because they don't trust them. How the hell are you doing a country right when it was envied before you came in, and now we're laughed at? How do you go from envied to laughed at in 4 fucking months? Donald Trump, the same dude that took a functioning casino and bankrupted that bitch, and did that like it was the thing to do to 5 more casinos. These people still haven't figured out this man sucks at business. Would you get a second chance after coming into a business, let's say as a manager or a CEO, and running it into the ground? Would you get a second chance to run another business just like that? Would you think that if you worked at Google and you ran it down into the ground, a money-making machine, you ran it into the ground, and then you think you're going to be working, at another company that's exactly like Google, MSN, or any other company running it? You think they're going to hire you for that? Not the average person, maybe a white dude, but it sure as fuck ain't going to be me, you, or anybody else in there. You ain't running no damn company that you done ran into the ground. This man, they gave it to him 6 times. And they gave it to the country the first time he fucked it up. They want to give him a second try. I don't get this country. The percentage of y'all who decided to let that man back into office, flawed, heavily flawed, while at the same time wanting Democrats to be saints. You put sinners in place and you expect the other party to be saints. Just think about that for a hot second. Republicans want you to put the devil in place, but want you to put Jesus in place for Democrats. They can't have no flaws. Yet, though, you can have a demon that's got every flaw known to man. This man's been accused of being a pedophile. Girl said she raped him. She died here recently. At least one of them died. I think it was the one that was with that accused him of that. Or at least one of them that accused Jeffrey Epstein. Right? He's being accused of rape. Eugene Carroll proved that he did that to her. Over 20 some other women accused him of doing the same thing, groping them. He even said himself that he grabs women by their cat. All of these things. He's stolen money. He can't run a 501c3, a nonprofit, because the man was stealing from a nonprofit. Tell me where he's been successful. Everything he's gotten, he's robbed people, and it's been taken away from him because he broke laws to get it. And his defense is, nobody got hurt. I gave him the money back after I stole it from him. Which one of y'all can go steal money from people? I ain't talking about as much as he stole. This man stole damn $500 million from people. When can you go steal $100 off of somebody and then just bring it back to him and say, look, he got $125 out of the $100 I stole from him? You think you're going to stay free or go to jail? That's who they wanted to run the country and be their leader. The devil reincarnated. That's what they try to make it seem like he a saint. These people aren't Christian, y'all. I don't care what you say. These are demons yelling Jesus' name to get other demons to gather around them. You throw holy water on them, all of them will burn. There's no way in hell these people are Christians. There's one thing to be a sinner. It's another thing to have an iniquity and sin every time you open your mouth. And then tell the world, I never asked God for forgiveness. Come on now. You know damn well that ain't no Christian. You don't speak like a Christian, don't walk like a Christian, don't smell like a Christian. He's not a Christian. He's a demon walking amongst us, and these people want to elevate him. Nothing he says is Christ-like. Not a damn thing. But after, let's see if I can get this other video pop up, because it's been crazy for me to get things coming up here. But The Economist, since Donald Trump's been president and throwing on these tariffs, the same magazine. And this don't want to show it for some reason. Does it again? I don't know why it does this. I'm going to do it again. Go through it. There we go. It keeps switching for some reason. I'm going to have to delete that once it's over. But it says, Economist, that President Trump's mindless tariffs will cause economic havoc. This, let's see if we can go down when it was actually done, was April 3rd, 27 days ago. Him just destroying America. Because this man, like I said, his business, he always bragged about him going to Wharton Business College. Donald Trump flunked that. Okay. There's no way. I can put it this way. I have never in my life, in my college days, ever had a professor that would say he is the dumbest goddamn student I ever had. I don't have one. I don't know about you. I don't have a teacher that would say I was dumb ever. Donald Trump has at least one, and it's visceral. He had to cuss whenever he said it. And it was before Donald Trump even running for office. This is when Donald Trump was out there doing his thing. This man who said this, the professor who said this, said it for decades and died in like 2011, 2012, way before Donald Trump had these dreams of being president, so to speak. He had been saying that for decades. Why would he say it? I mean, out of all the students, this man was there tenure for a long time. He was a professor there for well over 30, 40 years. Out of all of his students, and trust me, his students, he've had a bunch of rich kids. So it ain't any situation where, oh, Donald Trump just stuck out because he was rich. No, a bunch of rich kids, richer than Donald Trump's parents, have went there. That man didn't say that about nobody but Donald Trump. Donald Trump stuck out amongst the dumbest students that he's ever taught. Ever taught. Not one of, the dumbest. And these people think, after all these failures, somehow he's still smart. Something wrong with them, y'all. Something's wrong with them. Because you ain't got to tell me 300 times that somebody's stupid. The man, he proves it to you every time he speaks. And if you look up to somebody with half a brain and thinks like that person's brilliant, that's on you. That's on you. That's on you. Right? So, one of the things that, and I'll take that down, it literally just tells you that the majority of learned people who know about the economy understand Donald Trump sucks at what he does. 100%. He's nowhere near good at what he does. He's horrible at it. Now, when you talk about this entire thing about Donald Trump taking credit for like the factories coming back, I had to go research it. There's about 4 or 5 factories that are coming back, and I had to find out what kind of factories there were, and what kind, and more importantly, what kind of jobs would be available. Because, like I was telling you earlier, you had his guy say, Howard Lutnick, say that there's got to be new jobs. And like I said, the majority of these factories that are coming back that he's mentioning aren't in any field that the average American works in. These are high skilled level situations here. And if our economy right now doesn't have enough people, from what Donald Trump and what Elon Musk has said and what Howard Lutnick is going about, we're not going to have American people getting these factory jobs. They are reinventing what a factory job is. And I'm trying to tell you, they're looking at your children. They're not looking at you. And I don't mean your 20-year-old kid. They're looking at your 14-year-old child, 13-year-old child, to work overnights. Forget about school. Get rid of education. Let these kids work factories so that the rich can get richer. This is what it's all about. Don't get it twisted. Like when I told you how NAFTA, and there's also other things beyond NAFTA, with Russia and their deal, or China and their deal rather, with Reagan and with Bush and all these things like that. All these different trade deals have always been for the rich. They're the reason why the jobs left this country, went to China, and the industries went to China, went to Mexico, went to Canada, went to all the other countries that we have these treaties with, and these negotiations or trade negotiations. The reason why they left is because billionaires wanted more billions. Had nothing to do with, you guys going to get jobs? How? How? Where's the logic in it? You're sending all the jobs. Are we going to create new jobs here? They always promise new jobs, but never deliver on them. So what they did in the past was allow China, Russia, not Russia, I keep saying Russia because I guess we think about Putin, but China, Canada, Mexico, and all these other countries that we trade with, Vietnam, Korea, to get stronger because they sent them jobs that they thought, oh, we're paying too much in the United States. Let's try and break the unions because we need to make more money. Why are we giving them $20, $30 an hour back in the day and now like 50, 60 or whatever dollars? They want to get rid of it. So what they're trying to do is bring those industries here, the ones that are overseas, and do what? Computers, robots doing it all. And the only jobs that'll be available for the common folk, the people who aren't college educated, because most of the times, if you go to college, how many of y'all in here went to college? And if you got out of college, the first thing you want to do is go work at a factory. How many of y'all going and learning a trade to work at a factory? That shit is in the 50s when we went to the war. Who wants to work at a factory now? That's the big issue right there. Because again, it's not the same type of factory before. I've worked in factories where you put stuff on the line and you make sure that it's actually. I worked at like a bread factory, like Wonder Bread, and also a metals factory where we painted metals and different things of that nature. And things on the assembly line, you carry, you drive, forklift, blah 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 blah. Those things are being done by computers now. You'll just be watching those products do what they do. But the reality is, the new technology, you won't be able to fix. They want somebody who's going to break down and work some code and also go and work on some electrical shit to fix it so you make sure it gets back online and calibrate it. That's not the average person. And those are going to be the high-end jobs. The jobs in which these factories will create, the ones that all those added together, will create temporary jobs like 30 to 50,000. And that means the people who are building it, construction jobs. But after it's done with construction, you're looking at about 1,600 jobs, in which 1,000 is going to be for the high end, and about 600 is going to be for people, doing the lower end aspect of it, where you'll be making, $15 to $25 an hour. And not all of them. Out of the 5 that I saw, 2 were union, 3 were not. We're looking at, out of all 5 of them, at the most 5,000 jobs. And for people who are average, like unskilled labor, don't have a college degree in, not necessarily degree, but trade in this particular aspect, because they're revamping everything. You're not going to have a college degree for this. You can have like a trade thing, but you have to know what you're doing. That's going to be about, again, 5,000 jobs or so, 6,000 for the entire companies that are here, if they follow through. There's only one company that's already following through, and that one, the TSMC, it started, and I give Trump credit for whatever he's done. It started with Trump in 2020 as an idea. It took Biden to actually take it across the finish line and create an actual, the law, the Chips and Science Act, in order to give the subsidies or the federal incentives, which was about almost 7 billion, 6.6, I believe, billion. And that gave them like the idea to make a second and a third fabrication plant. And Biden made it viable. He literally got the part where the laws passed that it could be done, and also was able to start breaking ground. That took Biden from when Donald Trump 2020 to 2022. So it took him 2 years to get that done. Donald Trump didn't get anything done. He just had the idea. Now, the idea now is by using Biden's law that he did under him, everybody who worked there is their law, but under Biden administration, that's what's given Trump an opportunity to expand on that and possibly get from making just, was it the second and third, he's talking about doing up to 5. And that is some kind of like 100 billion or something like that they're talking about, not the 6.6. It's exploded to 100 billion. I don't understand why 2 more factories would go to 100 billion, but again, you best believe these millionaires and billionaires are going to see all of that. The employees ain't going to see hardly any of it. So when it comes down to it, even trying to bring these factories back, it's all about the billionaires making a crap ton of money, creating robots and creating as few jobs as freaking possible. So how does that solve the problem of people not having enough jobs in this country? It doesn't. With Republicans, it never is. And again, even in this situation, with Democrats in that process, it still wasn't going to bring back the jobs the way Americans think they're going to come back. This is what I don't like about government. It's like, I understand you're trying to they sell the idea, but they don't sell you the actual process of it all. They'll say like, oh yeah, bringing jobs back to America, made in America. And you're like, oh, wow. Let me break it down to you how that works. Okay, think about it real quick. I just told you one of the main chip manufacturers, this TSM, it's a Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, all right? They're going to bring back a second, a third, and Donald Trump's possibly thinking in a fourth and a fifth semiconductor plant. Each one of those bringing in about 1,600 positions, 600 for maintenance and cleaning and things of that nature, 1,000 for actual engineers. The rest of it's going to be done by robots. Now, these factories usually would hire tens of thousands of people altogether, but they're going to be just thousands of people who have jobs. That's fine. It's better than zero. I get it. But they're selling American people the idea that this is going to create a middle class again, like factories did back in the day. Factories before was unionized, and therefore, when they finally became unionized, because before when they weren't unionized, they were slave labor here. People were like, shit, I'm working my ass off and barely getting paid, right? They got the unions. Then they had, a 5-day work week, 8 hours a day, only 40 hours a week. You got vacation and lunchtime and all that. Before that, you was basically slaving it. So the union allowed that, and then you got an increase in pay guaranteed and all that. That is the way they're billing it. Factories are coming back, but they don't go into the details. And many Americans who just fall for anything don't question, what do they mean by this? Do they literally mean that there's going to be a lot of work and the economy is going to be booming? They're bringing back the middle class. That's what they're telling you. That's what these people believe. But in reality, no. You got Howard Lutnick giving out clues, but it's just sprinkled so that people who don't think they'll ever be fucked over by Donald Trump and his crew, they take it and just eat it all up. And they're eating dust of crap, right? They're inhaling this poisonous dung. And I'm like, dude, you're not paying attention to what they're saying. But having this whole process where you're going to have you barely getting any money, these jobs will not take people from, barely getting by to the middle class. You'll be at the bottom of the middle class, still in a situation of above poverty, but not really in the middle class, because these jobs aren't what they were back in the day. They can't be competitive giving you a good rate. And they know that these jobs aren't going to create the boom in which you think it's going to be. That's why they're trying to get your children to do it. You see what I mean? It's like they're being cute by half. They're telling you these jobs are coming back, but it's going to be little Tommy and Jamal and Jerome who are going to get these jobs. And they're going to be in school, working them. while going to school, trying to get a degree in something that'll pay them more. Because in this position, there's nowhere to rise. You're working there, and the management team is the people who run the spot that are high engineers. You're not going to become that engineer based off what you do at this lower end job. It's creating classes. And if you listen to Lutnick, this should turn everybody the fuck off. But for some reason, people get, again, I understand that there are people out there that love going out there getting black lung. You know what I'm saying? They have no problem going out there digging for dust and swallowing black shit all day. I understand that, to make a living. They like it. They love it even. I get it. So some people are going to love this. But in this process, these people aren't going to be making enough money to live off of. They're going to be making enough money to live with mom and dad. And that's what they're going for. When Lutnick talks about these things, new jobs, new opportunities, how many people who are 30s and 40s getting laid off because of Trump's tariffs and different things of that nature, and people who have businesses, small businesses, that are going to have to be looking for a job now because they were working, selling products or whatever it may be, and now everything's so expensive, their business is going to close down. They're going to be looking for jobs at 30, 40, and 50 years old. These jobs won't be available for you because you got to go back to school for them or trade school for them. They're being queued by half. They're trying to recruit your children. These factories will come to areas in which they're going to want 13 and 14-year-old kids working. A new form of slave labor. If they pay them enough, like a McDonald's, you won't think it's slave labor. They don't care about you or your kids. They care about profit and profit only. And when people can open their eyes to realize that, then you can try and make change. But otherwise, if you keep following these people, they're just hanging money around these people saying, do this, and they're just like little dogs, or you can say cats with the light. They're doing that shit all over the place, and they're playing with you, they're toying with you. Go look this stuff up. I'm not kidding. I've been saying it before Howard Lutnick started saying, oh, you're going to have new types of jobs. They said, Howard Lutnick said that these are jobs that you're going to want you to be working at, and then your like the parents are going to be working at, then their kids are going to work at, and then their kids are going to want to work there. So you're telling me that you're creating basically like the Soviet Union? You're telling me that you want people to work, their kids and their grandkids and their great-grandkids all working at the same factory again? Say what? That's what this fool said. I'm like, wait a minute, bro. Ain't nobody thinking about, we want better for our kids. We don't want to work some job where we barely getting by. And then we're going to want our kids to come here and work so they can barely get by. Who thinks like this? I don't know about y'all, but we want jobs, and this is what I don't understand they don't get. Americans want jobs, and I look at for my kids who are younger in their 20s. I want my kids to have one job that pays for everything, and then they can live their life and go on vacations and go on trips and actually get to enjoy this country, this world, while they're young. Getting a job that they can take care of a family and raise a family and buy a house and have a car, you know what I'm saying? And have property and all that. That's what I want for that to come back. If it ain't gonna go back in the past, I want that to be for my kids and their kids and their kids. Even if I'm not here, I want that world for them. And the way they're doing shit, that ain't gonna be the situation. They're trying to build perpetual factory workers. Just listen to that. You want for generations to be working in a factory. In China, right? And other countries that are like China in this situation. Many of these people are born and they'll say, oh, they're good at math, then he's going to be this, whatever that tract is. He's gonna be this in math, this in math, this is that. If your dad was a carpenter, then you're a carpenter, then you're a carpenter. Even if if I'm allergic to fucking wood. No, your dad was a carpenter, you're a carpenter, you're a carpenter. That's what this sounds like. Want him to work at this factory, then your kids work at it, and your great-grandkids. Where are your kids gonna be working at, Lutnick? Your kids are gonna be owning the factory. I see. So you're trying to build perpetual factory workers. Remember when we grew up, if you're my age or maybe even more seasoned than me, that was the plan where we was at. I grew up in Indiana. And when I grew up in Indiana, the idea of being able to succeed was to look at and say which factories were in your community, the bread makers. And you sit there and be like, we got whatever it may be, Honda, which we didn't have, but let's say Honda, we got a Nike one, we got, FedEx, and we got some other corporation. Oh, this one right here pays enough. This right here, the airplane one, that pays a lot. And we looked upon factories in which to work because the factories paid the most money because they were union. And then you get in that job and you want your kids to get in that job, say, hey, come on, it's paying good money in this particular city or state that you're in. But what they miss out on is those people, our parents and our parents' parents who wanted us to come work at these particular factories to have a better life because none of the places around us was paying that much. They forgot to tell you that the corporations changed. The corporations used to act like, at least they gave a damn about the employee. So the employee didn't just have a paycheck. The employee had a pension. All right. On top of that, the employee had a 401k where the company was paying into it. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, you had like 4 to 6 weeks, whatever, depends on how long you've been there, of vacation. You know what I'm saying? Before that, they had programs in which the job that you could move up from being a worker on the line to being a supervisor to being a manager to being something else. All that shit fell apart. It was just a factory making good money and you stayed in the same fucking position for 20 years. And when you left, they treated their older people like absolute trash. They fought them tooth and nail for anything because the younger people coming in work for less. And they started making positions within the job that were no longer union. They started splitting the union, saying, oh, this position over here is no longer union. These people, and then the union positions were fewer and fewer, and then your kids are coming in, no pension, no vacation time worth a damn, and all of that, but they wanted you to work at that factory. That right there is what these people do and have done. That's the history of it. And now they're trying to erase your kids and your minds on how they act when they realize, because I'm going to tell you right now, when they realize this ain't really a moneymaker, oh yeah, they're going to start cutting back jobs. That 1,600 is going to turn into 800. And each person going to have to do 2 people's jobs. And then it'll make enough money to keep growing exponentially. Oh, it's going to go down to 200 and they're going to put more robots in. And that person's going to have 3 or 4 jobs. And then they're going to realize 40 years from now, this shit ain't working. And then they're going to get rid of all y'all jobs and send them back to China. All it is money. And it's cyclical. They didn't realize they're going to build a juggernaut by sending these crappy jobs that they thought were crappy jobs, but pay less over there in other countries. They sent them there after they tried their damnedest to pay the American worker less, and the American worker went on strike, and they're like, we'll get you, and sent them overseas. If you're going to always chase the dollar, you have to understand, as a human being, as a worker, you don't matter. You are a number. And now they're trying to tell you what they reduced you to a number. Now all of a sudden you're a human being again? Where have you shown that? You haven't. So why do you trust that? I don't. I'm happy if these people get these jobs, that's fine. But I'm going to tell you right now, everything's going up. We can't compete with other countries. We're going to have to charge them this 145 forever because there's no way we're going to be able to compete with them. Their technology is beyond ours. They're at least 20 years ahead of us, if not more than that. So it's been over 40 years since the first one happened, went to China. Over 40 years. It took them a while to realize, hey, we can do robots. They had robots before us. Don't get it twisted. China's ahead of us in technology, many things. So that's the point in which I'm trying to get across, is that we are not getting what they say they're giving us. It sounds like roses and candy, but it's literally like poison and crap. If it's going to be done right in any way whatsoever, these unions that are out here are going to have to, even if it's just, 1,000 jobs, they're going to have to get, a situation where, hey, give people a heads up how long it's going to take so we can train people on the machines that you're going to buy so that we can get people in position to be able to take these jobs. But the majority of us know union people help union people. So all these union people are going to have kids and grandkids, depending on where they are in their retirement structure. And you're not going to be the average person that's going to be able to walk in the door and get these jobs. It is what it is. I've been in the union. It's who you know, not necessarily what you know. We have many people in our union that had no clue how to do the job, but was related to somebody in the union or to one of the corporate people who owned the company that said, get my son in the union. That's how it works, has worked for many decades. At least I know that personally. But it's something, but it's not what they're billing it to be. I just want people to be prepared that it's not creating the jobs they think it's going to be creating. And it's not the well-paying jobs. And it's not necessarily for you or I. It's damn sure not going to be for me, because I ain't trying to go to no damn factory. But it's not going to be for the person who wants to work at a factory. It's not going to be that. It's not the thing that you think it's going to be. Oh, and the other thing about it too. The other thing about that I want you guys to understand is it's also being billed like we're building it in America. Build America, build America. Did you not hear me say every one of these factories are from another country? There's one from Taiwan. I believe another one's from, I want to say from Korea. Another one's it just says international. It's European, I believe. But they're all other companies. They're not American companies. So when we break that down, what does it mean that a manufacturer that's in, let's say, Taiwan, this was in Taiwan, it starts building a semiconductor here, and with Donald Trump, they're trying to expand it to 5. It's already up to 3, I believe. So with Biden, it was up to 3. Donald Trump's going to get 2 more, supposedly. So it's up to 5, right? That is a Taiwanese company, right? That's what that is. So it's not an American company. It's being made in America, right? But it is not American citizens that own it. So the majority of the profit coming from these corporations, these factories, are going back to Taiwan. So when you talk about the millions and billions, if not trillions, coming from these companies and the subsidies in which they're going to receive, it's Taiwanese families that are going to get that. We'll get to make it here and sell it and become a manufacturing company. But at the same time, guess what? Taiwanese people own it. How is that American? How is that American? People who aren't even Taiwanese, aren't even American citizens, bring their companies here to build. See, I think most people thought that the companies that we sent over there, factories that we sent over there, that American-made companies were going to move their companies over here and start building American products, and therefore build America. It means it's built in America by Americans and for Americans, and the majority of the profit is going to go to Americans. No, all of these things are overseas, owned by overseas companies, being built here on our properties, and they're not going to pay that much in tax. So think about that. They're coming over here, building these factories, creating maybe I say 10,000 jobs total within the 5 factories, maybe. That's a stretch, right? More like 5,000 if that, but let's just give them 10,000. Everything they sell, the majority of the profit is going to go to where? To their country. The stocks and everything like that, where's it going to go to? Their country. As far as like paying property tax and all stuff like that, no, our tax dollars are paying them up to, with Donald Trump. It was 6.6 billion, I believe, with Biden. These subsidies. With Donald Trump adding 2 more, he said something about 100 billion. I don't know where that's going to be divided up into. I don't know how that works, but that's the number that I read in the article. So we're talking about our tax dollars. $100 billion of our taxes is given to them. And if you won't go with the 100 billion, let's go with the 6.6 billion. That's a setup for the first first 3. $6.6 billion of our tax dollars goes to them to build it here. Building it here, not an American company bringing back our products here. No, a foreign country coming here, Taiwan, building it here, getting tax breaks, right? Getting subsidies every year to stay here, may not pay taxes at all, and own it outright. America don't own any part of these companies because they're already built. Why would they need us to invest in it? The only people who could possibly get invested into these companies are the employees, which again is the employees putting money into a Taiwanese company. How in the fuck is that helping America? How is that America made, American brawn, America this, America that? It's not. We're still building and creating wealth for other countries. How is the problem that they say right now is that, let's say, for instance, China has been been making products for us for cheap, which I venture to say that helps me and you. Because that meant what happened before China was opened up, like the Alibabas or things of that nature. You have to have a wholesaler's license to be able to buy from overseas, and you wouldn't have an app to do it, so to speak. You'd have to call somebody, have a catalog, or you may have a website in which you go on and contact, get verified to be able to buy the products from the people that contact you. If you couldn't buy 10,000 of them, you weren't even getting access to it. All those things changed where it made it possible for me and you to go online over time to be able to say, oh shit, they sell, again, I use this as an example, they sell these on there for $30. So me and you can go on there and buy 3 or 4 and then sell it for $100 and make us a nice little profit. That happened to be something that all of us, if we were learned enough, could do and create income for ourselves just by building a website and having it drop ship, going straight from the factory to your home. That would have helped us more than anything, the average person, create a form of wealth. But doing it the way they're doing it now, it's talking about doing it, you're not going to be able to do that. How are you going to be able to do that? They're not giving the average person opportunity. Only the billionaires are going to be able to make money this way, especially with this 145% tariff on certain things in China. So once again, the American people, what they're building is not for you. They sold getting factories out of this country that you would have a better life. It did not happen. Hundreds of thousands of jobs were lost almost instantly from that, right? Within so many years, hundreds of thousands of jobs were gone. It was nowhere near what they built it to be. And now they're trying to tell people, oh, these corporations are coming back to build America. They're not building America. None whatsoever. And the thing about it is, if it's being built here and it's their product, their patent, their everything, it is just us housing it and having some of their employees rather, be American, how is that helping America? Strategically, it can help billionaires and millionaires. Strategically, it can help the politicians, right? It can help them strategically, right? Because the way they can do things is start throwing, some kind of kink in that business to force them to give us a better deal, because their production is here. It's already here. They've already invested. They've already got a company. They don't want to shut it down. So that gives us some kind of leverage and power over that company. That may be a strategy down the road. But again, that's not benefiting me or you, because there's not more jobs or less. There's going to be possibly less jobs in that process. Again, strategic moves that are not for the people, for the billionaires and the politicians. Your life is not getting better by this. Now, if America actually produced something, what Kamala Harris, what Obama, what Biden, what most Democrats have been saying, we have to find an industry in which we create, in which we are dominant, in which we can sell to the world, and everybody comes to us. Let's work on that. And Republicans are like, nah, I want money now. I'm like, but doing it your way, we don't own any of these damn businesses. We don't own the patents. We're not making the most money. We can tax the hell out of them, but if we tax the hell out of them, they won't be able to sell these products worth a damn to any other country. Have you even thought about the idea of them building all these things? How are they going to compete? How are they going to compete with China when China can sell a semiconductor and get it made and sent to us for $60, and you got to pay the person making the damn thing, $25,000, $30,000 a year, if that. Probably, I don't know what they're gonna do. They might end up the actual highly educated people are gonna be making a couple $100,000 a year. You're gonna think you're gonna be able to sell these products to them. The only reason they're gonna be able to sell them at any kind of rate close to them, and it really won't be, because again, if what we can do, they can do. I've read about it. I've been reading up on it. In these factories, reason why they want your kids working overtime, overnight, is because these machines work 24 hours, 7 days a week. So they want your kids there just watching it. Oh, that one's off. That one's off. That's what they want your kids doing. Good eyes, good hands. Do that. Do that. That's it. Ain't gonna pay them like they working at McDonald's. And Kristen's right. We invented the chips in the first place. Hello. So why isn't our chip companies here? Why are they getting chip companies from? Because you know why? Because they have advanced the chips beyond what we did. And because of their advancement of our inventions, we need them. Yeah, billionaires did this to y'all, to me, to you, to all of us. Billionaires made these decisions. All they chase is the dollar. They don't make sense all the time. What makes sense to them is what makes money. The strategy, they didn't see. This is what I understand when people think rich people are always smart. They didn't see this, or they either were super smart and just didn't give a damn. But they didn't see the fact that if you're going to give people your patent to build your product and have it grow into whatever it's going to grow into, and just because you know that they're either a dictatorship or communism, whatever the heck it may be, that their people get paid slave labor. Oh, we can get it made for $5 over there. We got to spend it over here. It's like $45 to build here. $5. We can sell it for way more. We're selling them for like $300. What, $300 for these chips? Okay, cool. $300. I can get it made for like $15 and charge $300 and be somewhere still competitive. I'm straight, because I make more money. Send it over there. And they go, oh, they're stealing our patents. Hello, what'd you expect them to do? What'd you expect them to do? You were giving them slave labor. They over there got people working and dying and shit because these people were killing themselves because they were working so many hours. Slave labor. Stressed out. I don't know if you remember it, but at one point in time, maybe still happening. At one point in time, Chinese people, when all this stuff was going on, when we sent all this, they were dropping like flies. Many of them were just walking off into trains and shit. They were just done. Some of them was exhausted and falling out and dying. It is crazy. That's how they work their people. You think Americans gonna work like that? You crazy. We don't live under that type of regime, nor do we want to. But they're trying to put your kids through that, your grandkids through that. I say pay attention to the past and you'll know what the future will hold. If people start going down the same path, you know. These billionaires are going down the same path, and the presidents alike are going down that same path. Politicians as well are going down that same path of how they took the living wage jobs out of this country. It was them that destroyed you and me being able to work one job and being able to take care of a family. They destroyed that because they wanted your money. Why would I pay you $60,000, $100,000 for this job? I can bring a kid in and give him $20,000 and take that $60,000 difference, $80,000 difference, put it in my pocket. Go buy a yacht, go buy something per person. Oh yeah, I can do that. I ain't gonna keep paying y'all a living wage. These people are living too high off the hog off of me. That's my money. Not realizing without you, they can't make that money. But with you, they think they still own you. As a human being, you're a number. You're employee number 5,500. They don't give a damn rat's ass if you have a kid, if you have cancer. You got cancer? All right, let's get somebody else in here. Next, send them a card or something. That's how they feel about y'all. Me too, but I don't work that much anymore for people. But that's the way they feel. And you ain't got to sit there and ask them one by one. Just look at history. What have they done? That's the reason that these jobs are not here. If you haven't felt this economy and what's been happening to it, if you haven't felt it yet, you will. Today it was reported that 25% in March, it was reduced for the shipping. So anybody in shipping, people understand these, just because these barges are coming with all this freight on it and all this shit like that, people don't understand. I mean, you guys may understand, but I don't know about these MAGA people. You know they slow. You don't understand that's semi drivers, other types of transportation. I'm trying to get out logistics, other logistics that are involved in that. There's all different other type of workers, crane workers. There's all of these things are going to decrease. And there's, again, you got other types of companies that have to deal with those particular freights. 25% less of it coming in means you're going to cut some of these people back. So there's a lot of jobs that are at stake, and that happened in March. Now it's expected to increase to 35% in the coming months. And when Donald Trump was asked about this, again, he blames everything on Biden. He admits that things are going to get worse, but he doesn't say it like that. He's like, so if your kids got 30 toys or dolls, whatever, toys, they said, rather, get 30 toys, this Christmas, they just get 2. I mean, and they might cost a few dollars more. And he doesn't tell the truth. So he's literally just told, just in that statement alone, what he's saying, and he won't say to his people, and his people can't decipher shit except for hateful shit. They can decipher if he's talking about the Klan and shit like that, stuff that he's saying. He's giving them a dog whistle that's making them feel good about their racism, sexism, xenophobia, and all that. But when he talks about stuff that can benefit their life or hurt their life financially, they don't know. They have no clue. By him saying that your children won't get 30 toys, they'll get 2, you got to understand something. Think about that for a second. 30? Subtracted 28 of it, right? 30. What if your kid only got 2 toys? That literally means your child gets no toys. What if you're in a situation where, again, you only was able to give, a child 1 toy, but each child 1 toy? You got 4 kids. That literally means out of 4 kids, you might be able to get 2 toys that they all got to share. Going from an economy that Biden left that was the envy of the world to an economy that sounds like we're in a depression. What Donald Trump just said, we are headed toward a situation where we are going to have a decrease in the amount of money we spend and the amount of money that is in our pocketbook. And that's all because of his tariffs. He wants to blame it on anything else. Economists, there hasn't been one economist that I've read today or saw a video of, not one of them saying that what Donald Trump is doing is going to benefit us. All of them are saying we're headed toward a recession. All of them. It's just a matter of percentage. 40%, 60%. Were we headed toward a recession when Biden was in office at the end of his? No, we were booming. There's a part of inflation where, we had a worry about that, like in his second year or something like that, but we got out of it. And building it up and up and up and up, just like Obama did, up and up and up, up. Trump comes in. He didn't do anything his first time. He kept going. He took credit for Obama's economy because he didn't do anything. He didn't change anything. He didn't mess with anybody's, money or nothing like that. Kept going. And his first adversity, his first time to be a leader, COVID comes. He bumbles that. No idea how to manage. I'm telling you, this dude can't manage himself. He can't even manage his makeup. One day he's oranger over here. He can't manage his makeup, but he's supposed to manage the country. %80 of U.S. toys are made in China. So if you don't have your kids' toys or products now, and if Donald Trump doesn't stop this crazy crap, it's going to be a horrible Christmas for a lot of us. For a lot of people out here. Because there's no way. If you believe in Christmas, it's going to be hard on birthdays. Anytime you're buying a gift, I don't care what it is, it's going to be hard. Because all of these companies that we get from, whether it be avocados, to like semiconductors, all that, we are headed for a horrible rest of this year. Possibly, if this man don't change, the next 3 years. Just the way he's running things, if he don't start listening to somebody, and if the Republicans don't take their heads out of their asses, we'll be in a depression before the end of these 4 years. It's been 3 months. We went from an envied economy to like going downhill, where the dollar has weakened. In 3 months, the dollar has weakened. The last time that happened, I think, was in 2022. And that was when we was going through the process of getting over COVID, trying to implement and put everything back in its place. And these people thought that in 2 years after that our economy is just going to boom. Like, I don't understand that, but it did, and they still didn't even recognize it. I was counting if he got a second term, by the 2 years into his second term, that's when our economy was just going to be just incredibly awesome. And people would feel it because the numbers and the stats showed we were the envy. No other country grew faster than us. And Donald Trump went out there and told people, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, price of eggs, blah, blah, blah. And these people bit into it. And instead of looking at the stats and realizing, give it some time, took them 2 years to get us back on track. Give them another 4 years. I promise you, we'll be on high. Nope. These people put the American people in a spiral. And he's right, though, Donald Trump. He told them what he's going to do. What is going on right now? Every one of us who voted for Kamala Harris knew it, because every one of us who read Project 2025, every one of us who watched the video of a Project 2025, every one of us that looked at January 6th and realized what's fucked up, everyone who looked at the January 6th documentary of how that all got put together, everybody who was learned about the country in which they say they love, it is amazing to me that people say they're patriots and they love their country, yet they don't read about their country and learn about their country and how to make it better and know its flaws. So in order for it to become a more perfect union, you must know the problems and the pluses in order to make it a better place. If you ignore the problems and think the pluses are going to always outweigh the problems, you're never going to move to a better place, to a higher place. You're going to always wonder why everything looks good but feels bad, because you're not paying attention to what's going wrong with it. You're just paying attention to what you think is good with it. We had a great economy on the board. People weren't feeling it, and many people didn't want to feel it. They wanted to complain, but they knew if they had been paying attention, prices were lowering. Not as fast as you wanted, but they were lowering. And Donald Trump gets in because these people, oh, the egg prices, I had to give my daughter some cheese and I have to count the cheese slices and all that shit. Where's she at now, that lady that said that? I guarantee you, she done switched to cheese, just giving her kid crackers. Now, we don't got no cheese. I guarantee you, she probably ain't even giving them that. Take some water to school. If you was that broke that you had to slice up the cheese and give so much of the cheese and crackers to your kid to go to school because you was worried about not having enough money. Now, ma'am, if you anywhere out there, how's your 401k looking? It dropped a little bit, didn't it? Yep. How is the food costing for you right now? Donald Trump went out there and lied to everybody. Everything's going down. The egg prices down. Gas prices down. All the shit that he said in this interview was down is up. And I'm like, how many of the MAGA went and looked to see if anything was down? They know in their lives shit's costing more, but how many of them went to go look and see if Donald Trump was telling the truth? I guarantee you, none of them. Everything he said was a lie. Gas prices are up. Egg prices are up. Gas prices are up just like a few cents, but still, it's up. Egg prices are up like astronomically, right? He said they were down. He keeps saying it. Everything he mentioned was up. Go look it up. All of it's down. And I don't understand self-destructive people, but that's who they are. And I know we can't change them. So that's why I don't try and change them anymore, or even trying to educate them anymore. I'm trying to educate those who don't know, who are unaware, that have a level head, that have some form of intellect, and that want to unite and try and figure something out. I ain't trying to talk to people who just don't get it. Thank you, DJ, for your gift. I appreciate it. I'm not trying to talk to people who don't get it. I'm trying to work with people who do get it, and we got to figure out, like, what can we do? Like I said, I'm creating something to try and help, but again, it depends on these tariffs. It depends on countries that I can work with that can help. The process that I'm trying to do is make it so that, you know, the American people start making money, you know, as they shop, and we eliminate as many uh, dependencies on billionaires as possible. That's what I'm working on. I'm trying to destroy the billionaires who don't care about people. Elon Musk, number one. Um, I want to be a thorn in their ass. I really do. I want to be able to create things that allow you, Amazon as well, to allow you to buy stuff and make profit every time you buy, so that you no longer are controlled by their products and their brands. You're more like an owner of everything you buy, and you get paid for everything you buy. Uh, and that to me is more of a love that I have for people. I don't need to make all the profit. I think we have more people who had that mindset for billionaires, who had mindset of the people and not of, you know, how much profit can I make and F everybody else. My example of life that I want to be is that person who got into business and created opportunities for all people involved to thrive. Not for one person to make all the money, but all those involved thrive. Because I look at it this way: without you, there is no me, and without me, there is no you. And so when I look at a business, I look at it as, if these employees aren't giving you their life and their time away from their family and loved ones, you can't build a life that you dream of. So it is not a situation where these people are replaceable. These people are priceless, because without them, there is no you. And I think these businesses have forgotten that it is the people that make them. It is the people who give them the opportunity. The people who are loyal, that come in every day, work their job, and develop a product or service that allows the people who own it to live the life they live. And they forget that their lives are all held together by people, not profit. And so my form of doing things is to create these pockets where people make profit from their hard work. And they get to live their lives now, not when they get old. So that's a structure that I'm building. Like I said, with my members, I will be developing or actually having meetings. You can become a member if you like to. And you'll start to learn, excuse me, you'll learn more about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. It's just something I've been in the lab working on. And I had another app that I've been working on for years, but I figured out another way to do it for all of us. And I think this would be a more transparent and easy way that I don't have to explain it in a hard way. It's very simple. What I just told you is basically making money every time you shop, and therefore creating wealth for yourself. Just in buying the things that you normally would buy, not buying something extravagant like a $80,000 purse or $500 shoes, whatever the hell it is. But yeah, and it can grow into that, but I want to start it so that it doesn't need investments from millionaires and billionaires, because I don't want them to have no part of this. This is for the people, by the people. The people making money from me is basically making each one of you guys an owner in every product that I sell. Profit sharing in a sense. But I'm working on it. You know, keep following me, and I'll let you know how it works. But we'll see. So if you want to support the show, which some of you guys have, I appreciate DJ. That was wrong. That was wrong. So anyway, it took the wrong thing out. I know I was like, it's over already? No, this dude just be messing up. But anyway, I'm going to answer some questions here, or anything that you guys may have or have said before I go. I always like to interact, not just talk, but I'm good at that. I keep talking. I know you guys talk amongst yourselves, which is awesome. What Rude said, I was just talking to Lynette. or Lynn rather. It says a big wedge said a friend of mine uh, complains about all the time about prices when Biden was in office, and now that Trump is in office. And I said, what prices are higher? He said he's cool with it. You can't make this stuff up. Exactly, big wedge. You can't, because again, they tell you again what Donald Trump, I believe, has done has built a core group of people who hate. It ain't about anything other than people who hate. That's it. They hate anybody liberal. They hate anybody woke. They hate anybody of any other race other than theirs. They're willing to accept people in their race, outside their race, if they promote their ideology to their people, so they can be the mouthpiece of racism and nationalism, but being black. They like them, but only for so much. It's not like they're going to give them jobs. It's not like they're going to give them opportunities. I want y'all to really kind of like think about it for a second. Donald Trump had a few, I ain't going to speak upon their names, but a few black people. They were out there just praising, kissing the left testicle of Donald Trump. And Tim Scott was one of them. Where the hell he at? Where Tim Scott at, y'all? I ain't seen him in anything. I haven't seen him. I love you, Trump. That's what he said. Love you, man. Because he thought he was going to get vice president. And then when Donald Trump became president, none of these tricks got a position. Not one. They hired one black dude that nobody knew about. And that was for what, HUD? Shows you, this man thinks of apartments that are for the poor. Oh, get a black guy. No matter whether the black guy rich or not, black guy. One of the head surgeons to ever do like heart surgery or brain surgery was the last time, head of HUD. Always. Give them the jobs that focus on the projects. It's his mindset. Get the black people that job. But you haven't heard anything from Tim Scott. You've seen urban development. Yeah. Byron Donalds, you saw him get lit up at a town hall meeting. But even he's neutered. He can't say anything outside the box. Everything is this and this. This is what I said. Elon Musk is here to deal with fraud and overspending. They're like, we understand that. Why is he getting our personal information? Elon Musk is. I'm like, dude, leave. Just leave. I mean, your breath smell like his left testicle. Just move. Keep on moving, man. You're pathetic. And then there was the other black guy. Don't see him anymore. None of them got positions to do absolute crap. Tim Scott knew he was getting a position. That's why he done faded into the dark. This fool ain't said nothing. I haven't seen him in any pressers. I haven't seen him come out and talk about anything. Anybody here seen him? Exactly, nomadic mariner. It was Ben Carson he hired for HUD secretary the first time. The second time is some other guy. I don't know who that guy's name is, but it's a black guy. He's younger than Ben Carson. And Ben Carson, like I said, that's the one who was a surgeon, like world-renowned surgeon, even though he was a little slow at this point in time. And I don't know if it was just he operated on himself or something, because he was just, and I mean, he was so slow, y'all. I was like, this man took like 3 days to come out with like one word. I was like, man, shut up. What the hell are you talking about? I thought you was a genius. What the heck is up with you? And remember, that was the same fool that tried to give you a story about him getting bullied, and this turned out it was a lie. It's like, yo, this dude is is just want to be famous. I mean, you're already famous, bro, for what you did, but you messed up all of your fame for what you did being with Donald Trump. It was his weirdest thing. Under a rock, probably said Mark D. Yeah, I mean, he's nowhere to be found, y'all. Nowhere to be found. Who yelled at a man over a book title, Kristen? Hey, Monica, how you doing? It brings me new meaning to the term brown noser. They're getting their brown bronzer, rubbing off Trump's ass onto their nose, plus the crap. Yes, rude. I'm tripping off of that. But you know, to each his own. Some people just don't care about themselves. They just, I mean, they think they care about themselves because they think about the money that's coming in. Uh, but I mean, seriously though, is that what you care about? Just the money? Because that ain't doing you no good, none whatsoever. Because again, I'm probably talk about tomorrow because I promise you I'm gonna try and find. I'm gonna make a video where in the world is Scott. It was a cat. Oh, Byron. Okay, Donald. Oh, he yelled at somebody. But where the hell is Tim Scott? I may make a video. Where in the world is Tim Scott? Uh, yeah, I gotta check that out. Scott Turner. Thank you, Nomadic. Scott Turner. It is a young black dude, right? Let's look at him. Scott Turner. Yeah, it is. It's the one. I didn't know that dude at all. Didn't see him on the campaign. They said he was there, but I didn't see him on the campaign or nothing. But I never saw him. Maybe he was in the background just being quiet. But I don't see him giving no speeches or anything. But anyway, I'm gonna try and find Tim Scott for y'all, man. I know he's somewhere. I'm kind of find him and see what he's doing. Just so I can say, why ain't you like upfront and personal with it? You know what I'm saying? Why ain't you like, I love Trump still? What you still? A reporter should walk up to you. Still love Trump? But you know, it is what it is. But I'm always, trying to find information. I'm, trying to educate on certain things. Like I said, keep looking out as I continue to work on an economic solution to what has been going on and a way to break away from billionaires. I want that so bad I can taste it. I don't want to buy anything again from just billionaires just because. I'd rather get it just like they do from China, from Brazil, from whatever, and only sell it for a fraction of the cost of what they have in the store and make less profit and make sure that the people are the ones who get the same product or service for lesser with care. I want to make sure that people know that you're loved when you buy something, that you somewhat kind of own the process, and that you can create a life for yourself and go out and have a vacation, and hopefully what I'm doing can turn into a bunch of businesses for people to like franchise out so that everybody can just have a nice life selling to other people. I'm trying to work this program out. As I do it, I'll just keep telling you more and more about it. It's not there yet, but it's almost there. So I'll keep working on it. And again, I don't want it to be a traditional way of doing things. I'm more about people over profit. I want us to have a nice life and not have to always compete with one another. No need. You're good at what you do. Do what you do. Compete against yourself and become all you were created to be. You don't have to try and be me because you'll never succeed at being me. Just like I'll never succeed at being you. You're brilliant all by yourself. You don't need to be like nobody else. I truly believe each one of us was born with gifts that nobody can replicate. There'll never be another Luther Vandross, just like there'll never be another Demetrius Cephas, if that's a real noun or what you will. There'll never be another Kristen Thompson. There'll never be another you. You are original. And that's when we need to step into our original selves and be all we were created to be. And I truly believe you follow your passions, it'll lead you to your purpose. And you figure out your purpose and you devise a service with your purpose, it'll take you all to where you were ever created to be. So that's my true belief, whether people believe it or not. When you're passionate about something and you provide a service and you care about the people you serve, wherever God wants you to be or your higher power wants you to be, that path opens up to you. So don't compete. Just be the best person you could possibly be. And if anything you're going to compete with yourself. Be better tomorrow than you were today. And keep that up, and everything that you ever wanted will become yours. Everything, happiness, joy, love, finances, things like that come in repetition. Keep being your best self. Don't let nobody else throw you off. Nobody knows whom you're supposed to be. That's between you and your creator. And once you have that confidence, you'll move toward wherever you want to be. And sometimes it takes people who love and care about you to keep speaking good things into you so that you can start to have that mentality. It's hard when the world is tough and things are going on. It's hard to keep your mind focused on I am who I say I am. I am brilliant. I am capable of doing all things. There's nobody above me or below me. I am me. I am here to provide a service, to be of service, and to enjoy this life that I was so blessed to be given. Even in my hardest times, I still have a life that I can make choices and be able to be a better person before I'm called home. And so I look at it as we keep focusing on being our best selves, not so much worried about everybody else. Provide solutions not only just for you and yours, but for those you care about and those that you want to give of yourself, and you'll have a more fuller life. At least I feel that way. And it's day by day. It's not about a get rich quick thing. It's all about inwardly becoming rich, being able to have joy and smile when you wake up and be joyful in what you're about to do, what you're about to embark on. And I don't care what that is. People would tell you oftentimes that, oh, you got to do this job to make money. You got to do sales to make money. You got to do this. I'm going to tell you right now, do what you love. It'll make a lot of money. I don't care what it is. You got to understand, there are people out there that sell, fruit for a living and making millions. They're selling mustard for a living and making millions. Because why? Because they loved it. I always told my kids this story when they were growing up, when they were little. My daughter was, entrepreneurial somewhat in her mind. She wanted to sell this and do that. But she was always worried about, like, what if this, the world and what she was going to be like. What if I do this? What if I do that? And I said, babe, whatever you want to do, do it. I'm not going to be that person going to tell you, go work at the factory and go to, no. What you're passionate about, I want you to follow that. Your passion is not going to always be what you're always going to be doing. Your passion is always unlocking a piece of you to make you become a better person, to make you understand yourself a little better, what your limits are, what you want to do, what you don't want to do. And as you continue to fail forward, that's when you'll start finding things that start to click and work. And once you do, just like a lock, one of those little locks will open up. And when it does, you're like, oh, that's the path I want to go down. And then you turn it another way and do something else, try different things. I always tell people, if you don't know what it is that you want to be, no matter what age you are, if you don't feel happy in your life, I say to people, go out and do something you've never done before. Because if you ever look at your life and you look back on it, where you are today is basically a summation of all the things that you've done in your life and the possibilities that have been unlocked to you. If you stay in the same community your entire life, you haven't seen what this world can unlock for you because you haven't been outside your community. Your experiences give you the opportunity to become all you're created to be. If your experiences are repetition of the same thing, no wonder you haven't found anything that you love or want to do or want to be in, because you haven't tried something outside of that. There are many people, like I tell people, look, go do, I don't care what it is, if it's bowling, if it's jumping out of a plane, if it's skateboarding, I don't care if you're 60, if it's something that you want to do, cook, I don't care what it is, try it. Because like with anything in life, and this is what I want you to think about, anything in life, when you do it that first time, you're no longer the same person you were before that. When you learn how to ride a bike, you're no longer that person. You're born anew. You're not a person who can't ride a bike anymore. You can ride a bike. When you learn a specific skill, whether you can draw, whether you can cook really well, once you get that recipe right, you're no longer the same person who didn't have that recipe. We're born anew. There are many times in our lives we're born anew. We just don't focus on us becoming greater and better and more learned. We focus on what we don't have. And when we focus on what we don't have, we feel unfulfilled. But if you start to learn and pay attention to the things you do, it'll open up doors to things that you didn't possibly believe you could have. Being able to think, okay, I can do this, even though you may not have done it before. Have that confidence that you can try. Don't worry about failing, because we all fail. Everybody does. The most successful people in this world have failed more than they've succeeded. It's just they never gave up. They didn't let the failure destroy them. They let it build them. They learned from that failure and they tweaked it, and then they won again. And they failed and they tweaked it. Success is how many times you tweaked your failures, not how many times you got it right the first time. And so we focus on trying to keep moving to that next level, no matter what it's in, whether it's in finances, whether it's in happiness, whether it's in, in love, whatever it may be. In every situation in life, we have always been the solution and the problem. The more you start to understand that you have been the problem in the process of you getting somewhere and taking that responsibility, that's when you can tweak it, and that's no longer a problem. Some of us think we can continue doing the problem and expect something to come out of it. No, we're always supposed to be thinking of anew. How do I change this? How do I move this? How do I get this block out of my life? First, you have to admit that it's a block. Then you have to work on moving it piece by piece until you get through it or over it. That's when you'll start to understand it's behind you, and now you have another task at hand at becoming the better woman or man that you wanted to be. So those are the things that I focus on, giving people those opportunities to be able to see that there's more for them than what they may have been told in their life. Many people were never told that they were brilliant or whatever it may be, giving positive affirmation so much that some people don't even want it because they don't know how to handle it. But when you receive it, it's all about letting it soak in and becoming that brilliant person, even if you have to tell yourself. The more you start to believe you're better than the circumstances that you're in, the more you start to move toward better circumstances. Some of us won't say it, but some of us believe we are where we are because we did something wrong, or our ancestors may have did something wrong, and I am where I am and I can't get out of it. That's giving up on yourself. We are where we are because of external situations, often, but it's the internal that has to change, and before the external starts to feel it, starts to see it. That's why they always say fake it till you make it. Because in your brain, you got to believe you're capable of greatness and brilliance before you can actually achieve it. Because if you believe that you're mediocre, that you're nothing special, then everything you do is mediocre and nothing special. You have to believe everything you do is worthy of you and others in order for it to be worthy of you and others. It's that, I don't know, American way, maybe. I don't know any other country where we constantly tell people that there's such thing as an American dream, but somehow we don't deserve it because we're not an athlete, or we're not a singer, or we're not a dancer, we're not an entertainer, or we're not, you are a human being that was blessed enough to become alive, and whatever's in you is meant for you to share with others so that you can get a return on the investment that your God or your believer, whoever you believe in, invested in you. You are an investment of your higher being. And I don't believe the higher being would invest in trash, invest in average. They're investing in brilliance. And once you realize that and start walking in that brilliance, that's when you become all you were created to be. And not listening to the trash to the left and the right. Listen to that divine feeling that's in you that knows you are somebody and that you are the most brilliant, whomever your name may be, that will ever walk the face of this earth, because there's only one of you. And I don't believe that the higher power is gambling. They're investing on you. Gambling would say he may not be what I said he was at birth, she was at birth. Investment is saying, I know you are what I created you to be. And I'm going to instill in you this wealth of knowledge and opportunity and free will so that you can become all I created you to be instead of what people don't told you what you can become. Don't listen to just mere people. Step into your own heart and mind and spirit. You were born with this divining rod of where you should be going. You just been talked out of it. Sometimes by others, oftentimes repeated by yourself. Change what you tell yourself, and your life will lead to where you believe yourself to be. I am brilliant. If you are a person who believes in a higher power, I am a child of God, and nobody is better or worse than me. I am one of one, and anything that I put my mind to can be done. It may take me some time, but failure is my divining rod to success. Every time I fail, I move. Every time I fail, I move. Then I succeed. That's all life is. A bunch of failures that lead to success. Don't put so much weight on the failure part. Don't accept yourself because you failed to be a failure. That's not true. Never will be. The only failures that will ever be considered a failure in this world are those who don't try, because you never gave yourself a chance. I'm going to stop preaching right now because this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. But I tell you, when it happens to me, it happens to me. I'm going to get off this soapbox. Get off this. But whenever I feel it, I give it. So anyway, much love to y'all. I appreciate any gifts you give in, cash apps, all that. It helps me get better and better at what I do. I'm trying to bring you guys, more of myself and less of just the turmoil that we're going through. I share that with you because we're living at this time and age, but there's so much more to each and every one of us. We're all frustrated in these times, but that doesn't mean we still can't find time to love on each other and be good to each other and fight the enemy at the same time. So I look forward to seeing y'all again tomorrow. I hope something I said to you stuck. I hope something I said to you enlightened you and make your day better. And I wish you guys sweet dreams tonight. And much love. So I'll see you tomorrow, or my phrase when I end my shows. I'll see you when I see you.